Greetings, Light Tribe. Janine Palmer here, Spirit Silver Moon, Harmony Energy Healing Sacred Sessions. This video today is about friends, soul contracts, and ego as a mask. And I need to thank Kenneth for that term of ego as a mask. After discussion about that today, I wanted to sort of talk about that and what it might possibly mean. And you know, some people who listen to this may have gone through something similar and they're like, yeah, I get it. And other people might not have experienced something like this yet. Or maybe some people are going through it now. Because there's a lot of tests going on always. And then, you know, we meet people that we feel a connection with them, like something about them, their personality or whatever might resonate with us. What they do, what they're doing here, a tone, I don't know, the way they speak to us in ways we might not be able to explain. And so I want to talk a little bit about soul contracts here. And why when some things happen sometimes that we cannot begin to understand. Because there's something we're really supposed to learn from it and about ourselves from it and about others from it. Those are typically soul contract situations. And so we meet people, and maybe there's something to us for a certain amount of time, and things change and we don't understand why. Maybe we change, maybe we don't. Maybe we're just growing, and maybe we're changing vibrational levels, and maybe through lessons we have, and hardships and things, we have different ideas of how we understand things. We see things from a different perspective. It doesn't mean either one of those perspectives is wrong, but they differ, and it's all for the learning. And I have a new friend who I really appreciate, Marcia. She's on the other side of the continent from me, and originally from another part of the world. But where you recognize a kindred spirit, like a kinship, a friendship, a knowing, an acceptance, gratitude, where you recognize sort of someone and what they're about and what they're doing, that speaks to you. Now, they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But the thing is, we're both teacher and student. So we might come along someone's path to be helpful, to help teach them, to help them to heal maybe. If that's supposed to be part of it, if they ask for it. But we also learn from them, right? So we're always both. So in the work that we do in life, whatever that is, because we're all here doing something, we're a vessel. And sometimes our vessels are drained because of what we give and or because of what someone takes. Okay? And it's all about balance. And so sometimes if we're doing something that we feel is for the good or whatever, people will maybe say nice things to us that are supportive, right? They fill that vessel back up, really. Some people drain that vessel and other people help to fill it. So they feed you in a way. So like, in other words, are people feeding you kindness and supportiveness and compassion? Or are they feeding you jealousy and anger and hatred and nastiness? But I'm talking about the ones who are supportive on our journeys. So like, people do a post and someone says something nice about it. It's feedback because it's feeding you on your journey. It's a message telling you that what you're doing is making a difference, okay? A positive difference, hopefully, if that's the case. Now, if someone is feeding back nastiness, and you know you didn't do anything to provoke it, sometimes you have to recognize that that's that person's issue. Okay, and then that's where you set your boundaries and you have to decide, you know, what am I going to allow into my space? Doesn't mean I don't care about that person. Sometimes you wonder, where did my friend go? Where did the part of my friend that I thought was such a connection for me or something at some time, that I saw that part of them and is drawn to that, and that I found to be a nurturing, helpful thing, thing. Force, energy, and things are always changing. And it has to do with those perspectives, right? And it has to do with old wounds and energies we carry that we might not know we carry. So, when the shadow side comes out, it might be a huge test for us, and it might be part of a soul contract. Okay? So when someone plays a role in your life that is so hurtful or so foul, so nasty, so dark, so destructive, when you don't understand what the hell just happened, where it's coming from, you find out things about people like that are lower vibrational. Because right now we're in a time where we might be stuck in something, and it's before illumination or enlightenment comes. It's a test. Are we going to come out of that? Or are we going to stay stuck in that? But the thing is, a lot of times we don't even realize we're stuck in it. We don't. And people give us feedback, and they mirror things back to us, and we might not like what they're saying. But, take a look at the energy you're in. What thoughts do you think? Start taking some notes. Do you think the same thoughts over and over again every day, every night, more than once a day? What are those thoughts? Write them down. What am I thinking? What thoughts keep going through my head? What am I thinking? Start to take note of that. It's going to show you a program that you're running, okay, that's being fed by those thoughts that you think. So maybe take note of your thoughts that you think. Are they repetitive? Are they positive or negative? Do they serve you? Are they kind to whoever it is you might be thinking those thoughts about? Are those thoughts that would nurture a relationship and help it stay strong and beautiful? Or are those thoughts that would destroy one? So thinking about that, like ego is a mask. So sometimes people are not in their ego so much. They're, more kind, giving, nurturing, accepting, non-judgmental. Okay. And then other times they might have to wear that ego as a mask because to get a message across in a way that might be a bit harsh for somebody, right? But ego also might be a mask that we hide behind because we don't want to take responsibility. We don't want to own up to something. We don't want to admit something. We don't want to look at something about ourselves. We don't want to acknowledge that shadow side that keeps destroying our relationships. Okay. So is that ego something that we wear as a mask and we hide behind? Is it self-righteousness? Is it rigid thinking? Is it thinking I'm right and everybody else is wrong? That is definitely ego. Okay, so do you ever think that you're totally right in everything you do, think, say, that everyone else is wrong? Or do you ever question yourself that, God, I hope it doesn't sound like I'm doing this or saying that, or, I don't want to be coming across the wrong way. Like to be conscious or cognizant of what you're doing and why. To become aware of your thought patterns and how they serve you. How are you happy with your life right now? Are your relationships good, and are they nurtured and nurturing, and can you be open with someone and have conversations that aren't used against you? What are your relationships like? Are you happy with it? How's it working out for you? So like, if it's not, maybe start taking notes of the thoughts you think. And when you start saying, shit, I was thinking that 3 times today and I've been doing it for the last 3 weeks. Holy shit. How long has this been going on since I started taking notes? You know what I mean? And so it's like, what's causing that? Where's it coming from? Are you willing to go into a prayerful or mindful or meditative state to sit and think, what is causing this? Is there a wounded part of me that I haven't acknowledged that isn't getting something, so it has to lash out to try to get this attention from things? It takes a brave and courageous person to be able to face that, to be able to be honest and open enough with themselves to be able to own up to it. I do know someone like that. Someone that has tested me and I've had to not be friends with for a while because of the old wounds, the wounded child and the behavior, whatever it was. But who is able to really say, you know what, that was wrong. That was horrible what I did. I'm so, I'm ashamed of myself. I'm so sorry. I see that it was wrong. I know it's wrong. I didn't feel right, blah, blah, blah. To make that recognition and step out of it and say, I don't want to be in that energy is huge growth. Some people do not want to admit that they did jack shit wrong. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no, I didn't do anything wrong. It's all the other person. That person's a hypocrite. That person's they're labels. I mean, so many things that people can just hang labels and call you things that they think would hurt you. Not even that word. I'm trying to think of words that are to use in as an example, and I can't think of it right now. It doesn't matter. But just words that people would use. I wish I could think of some right now. Just words that people use that they're really not even about you, but they'll use them to try to get to you, to hurt you. And then we have to recognize, is that trying to show me something about myself? Let me be honest, you know. Is it something I need to heal? Is it something I need to work on and shift? Or is it a reflection of that person's issues? That's the test. Okay? To be open enough with yourself to be able to allow yourself to heal. But that means facing hard facts. And to be able to admit that and sometimes we just see things from different perspectives, and we're very stuck in that perspective, and we want to defend that perspective because it's protection. Because we're trying to protect ourselves because we don't want to get hurt again. So we leave this trail of destruction, okay, in our wake, wounding the shit out of others so we don't get hurt. We think. But we are hurting ourselves when we hurt others. So anyway, I used to try to keep my videos short and sweet, you know, to the point. And they're getting longer now, but I think it's because there's more that needs to be said. Thankful for friends, teachers, blessings, lessons, what we take from things. Something freaking heinous, okay? What do we take from it? And what do we do with it? So in my case, I like to try to do little videos and little writings to try to share what I learned from something or what it appeared to be. Because we never even totally know what that is. Peace.